What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. So today we have Yelena here in the CCP, and we're going to be testing out her as a 7-star rank 1. So before we get into the gameplay, let's see what she can do. So she is immune to poisons, and she has an indefinite combo shield and a Endurance passive, which is decent for like Photon with all those non-damage debuffs. And she's more suited as a defender. As you can see, she can crit through your block. Every time she crits, she places an instant bleed on you, and if you are immune to that bleed, you get dealt with a bit of a direct damage instead. Now, she has two modes. She starts the fight with the observation mode, which basically caps your attack at 60% of what it was at the start of the fight. And if you have a daunted effect, I believe that means that it just doesn't matter, like you have your normal attack. And then she gains +1 combo meter every time you hit the opponent into their block or in their face. And if you intercept, you get more. You're gonna see that in the gameplay as well, a lot more, like, you know, clearly. And she also gets 10 if you knock down the defender, and +50 the first time the defender is brought below 50% during any basic attack. So if you do that during its special, you're not going to get that +50, which is kind of interesting. Now, when you get 100 charges, this is basically your damage phase, because after 10 seconds, you're going to switch modes. However, if you have a special ready, you can end this 10-second timer and immediately go into your elimination phase. And when she's on this elimination mode, all of her attacks are guaranteed crits, which means you get a lot of those instant bleeds. Yelena's personal effects are unaffected by ability accuracy. And when you would be struck by a light or heavy attack, you execute a reversal. So this is pretty cool. It's kind of like Iron Patriot. Sorry, not Iron Patriot, the normal Patriot, where if you hold your heavy with them, he like does the reversal and knocks on the opponent. So this is kind of like a safety. You shouldn't really rely on that too much. It's a nice safety to have, but as you can see, it's only light attacks and heavies. However, if you go to the specials here, as you can see, when you activate the special one, you get the impact passive, which reduces block penetration. And then on the observation mode, you get more combo if you throw this into the opponent's block. And then the other bullet here, if you are in the elimination phase, which is the phase with 100 combo, you actually can execute the reversal against medium attacks when this impact is active. So for the 10 seconds you get that on the special one, you can actually execute the reversal on anything, lights, mediums, and heavy. So if you happen to get hit, it's actually going to count as a blocked hit. You're not going to take too much damage, and you inflict 4 instant bleeds on the opponent, which is really nice. Now, you also want to throw your heavy attack 3 times at least in the fight, and probably a lot more to actually get to 100 meter faster, because you place this 40% bleed vulnerability on the opponent, which is really nice. And then with the special 2, you get that disarm passive, which basically sets the opponent's attack at like 50%, and it cannot be increased, and their block proficiency, I believe. And you can see their observation gain +50 combo meter, and in the elimination phase, you refresh all those bleed vulnerability effects and pause them for 8 seconds. And then special 3 is like for the, you know, crazy damage mode, where you get some critical bleed passive, which is pretty cool. Now, the awaken ability is nice. I would say she probably likes it a lot more if she's a defender, but there's 2 things, and one is a defense, one is an offense. So the defense phase here is that when you have the observation mode, so the one she starts with, the opponent's critical damage rating is capped at 50% at 6200, so she's going to be hard to kill on defense for sure. And then on the elimination phase, your opponent cannot evade, or you cannot miss, and no effects against mutants. So this could actually be like decent for Photon, you know. And the good thing about the second part of the ability is that you don't even need any Sig Stone. So Sig 1 is going to get you that nice attack value there. So let's get into the fights now. Alright, starting with a Scorpion here. She's actually a really good Scorpion counter if you need one. I personally need one because he's pretty annoying for me. But yeah, he's never going to get the Scorpion sense. And also, if you have her duped, I don't have her duped here yet, he's not going to evade on the elimination mode. So now we're just doing a lot of heavies here. As you can see, we want to get to 100 combo, and then we want to be ready for the special 2, because when you get to 100 combo, you need to wait 10 or 12 seconds, I believe, to actually activate your elimination phase. Or you can activate it immediately if you have a special ready. You will see the timer is, the blue timer is ticking, but once I throw my special, boom, we change to the elimination phase, which we have guaranteed crits, and every single crit inflicts those bleeds. And she does feel decent, man. Like with those 3 those 3 bleed vulnerabilities, she does feel good. And also, like, that Black Panther relic is really nice with the guaranteed crits. So yeah, he died with like a special 2 and not even a special 1 here. So yeah, but like, I mean, Scorpion doesn't really have the highest HP in the game. So yeah, she does feel decent for this matchup. Now, what about a matchup where you can't really heavy that much? We're gonna be using her against that photon. So if I had her duped here, she would be a lot better, because once I actually get to the elimination phase, I would not have to care about her untouchable. But I don't have her duped yet for this matchup. So let's see how she does here. So she is also bleed immune. So this is like one of the worst matchups, I guess, because she is also bleed immune, and we can't really parry heavy her, so it's going to take a while to get to 100 charges. But I'm going to show you something you can do. We're going to throw the special one into her block, and as far as I tested this, like I got clipped once by hitting this into the block, but I believe the only reason was because I was in the corner at that time. But as you can see, when I finished my special one, there's a lot of distance between us. I don't think she can hit us here. I think we can't actually block by the time she attacks. So I think this is a pretty decent strategy if you want to get to those 100 hits faster, because you know, against photon you can't really heavy that much. Can't really patty heavy that much. Now that we are in the 100 charges, we need to wait for our mode, as we're waiting for her pure life form as well, which is really nice. Now we get the guaranteed phase. So the one thing about Yelena here, I have a stat focus of crits, and I don't know if this is worth it, because like the only way it works, that stat focus, is like when you are not on this elimination phase. But this is like her damage phase. Maybe I should have put it at like critical damage or prowess, so I'm not too sure. I feel like watching this back, I should have had cruelty, but you know, it is what it is. Throw the special 2, and as you can see here, when we throw this debuff, this disarm, she should not be benefiting from those furies that much, because it caps her attack. And as you will see, it doesn't hurt that much. That special 1, it doesn't hurt that much. And we did have like 4 debuffs on us as well. So yeah, and the endurance is doing some work, but like it's only 35%. I wish it was like a little bit more. And that did it. So it didn't actually take like that much longer. It was a minute and 30. It was pretty long, but like, you know, it's like literally her worst matchup, and we weren't even duped there. Moving on to the Eyebomb matchup here. So this is going to be a lot better, because literally like the photon matchup was just so much worse. We can't even benefit from the bleed vulnerabilities against photon, because the damage we deal when they are immune to the bleed is direct, so it doesn't get increased by the bleed vol. So here Eyebomb is a pretty nice matchup for her. You can heavy counter the special 1, you can parry heavy him whenever you want, and you're just gonna deal a ton of damage. So the thing is, Eyebomb is like super tanky because of those poisons. He gets that physical resistance, and yeah. So now we're actually trying to get to the 100 phase really quickly. We're gonna go for our special 2 in a second here to enter it immediately, and boom, there we go. So now we get those guaranteed crits. I wish I had the stat focus on the crit damage just so I can see like the difference, but I didn't test that out. So we have 1 special 2 here. You can go for 2 special 2s before you lose your elimination phase, because I think I forgot to mention that when you go below 5 hits, you actually exit out the elimination phase and go to the first one. But yeah, it's, you know, honestly, not too many fights are gonna last that long, at least like for PG health pulls. Maybe if you use her for like Abyss or something. But yeah, not too bad. Not too bad against that Eyebomb. So this should be like a minute and something, a minute and 10, not too bad. It was like 70 seconds as a 7-star rank 1. Yeah, I feel like a 7-star rank 3 can probably do this matchup in like 50, 55 seconds, you know? Like she's solid. She can handle those non-bleed immune matchups. But again, I feel like she's gonna be more of a defense type of champ. But I see her as a dual threat right now. So against Think, she's kind of like an okay counter. She's good and bad at the same time, because when you are on this phase where you don't guarantee crit, you don't know when you're gonna remove rock shield or the rock field charges. And now that we are on the guaranteed phase, you need to play this differently, because every single hit is a guaranteed crit, which means you're gonna bleed him, and trying to bleed Thing actually removes charges from him. So you kind of have to like use your relic, which doesn't give him charges, to actually bait a special 1 or special 2, because as you can see, it's kind of confusing. But yeah, we did time that really well. And Think here, you know, really tanky. We don't trigger the protection that much. I think we triggered it with like the last year of the special 2. But she's fairly quickly against Thing so far. Fairly quickly. Now, as you can see, this guaranteed crit is kind of messing me up, I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of sketchy because all of her attacks have like a lot of hits. That's the special attacks. And I did mess it up there. I could have actually ended it, but it's taking like a little longer. And now we're actually on the observation mode, so we don't guarantee crit, so this is like even more confusing. So I'd say she's like an okay thing counter, but you can mess up. So yeah, I mean, that was 1:28 seconds. Not the fastest against non-bleed mutants, like I said. But I feel like she's going to change my mind when I use her as a 7-star rank 3. And the one thing I really like about Yelena is that she has instant bleeds. So that means you don't really have to have deep wounds like maxed out for her to be good. So me that I run like 1 point, if I were to pull her, she would be great even with 1.8 deep wounds. That's the one thing I really like. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about Yelena. And if you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.